Imagine a vast Indian subcontinent, its lands ruled by the mighty Mughal Empire, but in the rugged hills and valleys of the Deccan Plateau, a resilient power began to rise, a power that would challenge the greatest empire of its time. This was the Maratha Empire, a beacon of courage, strategy, and self-determination. But how did a humble warrior clan from Maharashtra carve out one of the most powerful empires in Indian history? Let's uncover the story of the Marathas, the people who dared to dream of Swaraj, meaning self-rule. In the mid-17th century, the Mughal Empire under Emperor Aurangzeb was at its peak, stretching from Kabul in the west to Bengal in the east. Aurangzeb, known for his staunch Islamic orthodoxy, pursued policies that alienated large sections of the population. His oppressive tax policies and religious intolerance, particularly his harsh treatment of Hindus, sowed seeds of discontent across the empire. Before Aurangzeb's campaigns, the Deccan was a fragmented land, dotted with independent kingdoms: Bijapur, Ahmadnagar, Berar, Bidar, and Golconda. These kingdoms, though powerful, lacked unity, making the region a strategic target for Mughal expansion. But in the midst of this chaos, a warrior class known as the Marathas emerged. Shahaji Bhosle, born in 1594, was a visionary leader and skilled warrior. He served the Deccan Sultanates and laid the foundation for the rise of the Marathas. Although Shahaji himself couldn't realize his dream of a unified Maratha kingdom, he planted the seeds of greatness in his son, Chhatrapati Shivaji. In the heart of the Deccan Plateau, a boy was born who would go on to redefine the destiny of the Indian subcontinent. Chhatrapati Shivaji, the founder of the Maratha Empire, was born in 1630 in the hill fort of Shivneri. His upbringing was shaped by the indomitable spirit of his mother, Jijabai, and the political acumen of his father, Shahaji Bhosle. Jijabai played a pivotal role in instilling a sense of purpose and duty in Shivaji. Through stories of Hindu warriors and righteous kings, she nurtured in him a dream of establishing Swaraj free from Mughal domination. Shivaji's formal training in governance, diplomacy and warfare was complemented by his exposure to the rich history of the region, which was ripe with tales of resilience. Even as a teenager, Shivaji displayed extraordinary leadership skills. He organized a small but loyal group of soldiers and began capturing forts in the Deccan. His strategy of guerrilla warfare, which he perfected over time, became a hallmark of his military campaigns. Shivaji's forces moved swiftly through forests and hills, using the terrain to their advantage, and struck fear into the hearts of the mighty Mughal armies. One of Shivaji's first major conquests was the capture of Torna Fort at the age of 16. This marked the beginning of his dream to carve out an independent Maratha kingdom. Over the next decade, he consolidated power by capturing strategic forts like Raigarh, Pratapgarh, and Sinhagarh. For Aurangzeb, the rise of Shivaji was a direct challenge to his authority. The Mughal Emperor, who ruled with an iron fist, saw Shivaji not as a leader of his people, but as a rebellious thorn in the empire's side. Despite his vast armies and immense wealth, Aurangzeb found himself repeatedly outwitted by Shivaji's brilliance on the battlefield. The clash between Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor, and Shivaji, the Maratha warrior king, was not just a battle of armies, it was a confrontation of ideologies. Aurangzeb, a staunch advocate of centralized authority, sought to expand Mughal dominion across the Indian subcontinent. Shivaji, on the other hand, was the embodiment of resistance, determined to preserve regional autonomy and uphold the dream of Swaraj. Shivaji's guerrilla tactics were revolutionary. He struck where the Mughals least expected, often targeting their supply lines and fortresses. The sack of Surat in 1664 was a masterstroke. Shivaji looted the wealthy port city, using the funds to strengthen his forces and fortify his kingdom. This audacious raid shocked Aurangzeb and proved that Shivaji was no ordinary adversary. One of the most dramatic episodes in their rivalry occurred in 1666. Shivaji was invited to Aurangzeb's court in Agra under the pretense of negotiation, only to be placed under house arrest. But Shivaji, ever the tactician, devised an escape plan. Disguising himself in a basket meant for sweets, he slipped past the Mughal guards and returned to the Deccan, leaving Aurangzeb humiliated. This rivalry was more than personal. It was emblematic of two contrasting visions for India. Aurangzeb envisioned a unified empire under his absolute control, while Shivaji represented the aspirations of regional powers seeking freedom from central dominance. Their conflict would define the politics of the Indian subcontinent for decades to come. Shivaji's journey reached its pinnacle in 1674 when he was crowned Chhatrapati at Raigad Fort. The coronation wasn't just a symbolic act, it was a declaration of sovereignty. Shivaji's administration was marked by fairness, inclusivity, and innovation. He established a well-organized military, a navy to protect coastal regions, and a revenue system that ensured the welfare of farmers and traders alike. While Shivaji was deeply rooted in his Hindu faith, he was remarkably secular in governance. He ensured the safety of all communities under his rule, gaining widespread support among Hindus, Muslims, and others. His legacy as a just and visionary ruler earned him the admiration of his contemporaries and the reverence of generations to come. After Shivaji's passing in 1680, the Maratha Empire faced its share of challenges. Aurangzeb, now in his 60s, launched a full-scale invasion of the Deccan, determined to destroy the Marathas. But his campaign proved disastrous. The Marathas, under leaders like Sambhaji and later Rajaram, waged a relentless guerrilla war, draining the Mughal treasury and sapping their morale. In the history of the Marathas, few figures shine as brightly as Bajirao I. Appointed as the Peshwa, or Prime Minister, at the young age of 20, Bajirao's leadership transformed the Maratha Empire from a regional power into a dominant force across India. Bajirao was a master strategist and an invincible warrior. Over his two-decade-long career, he never lost a single battle, a remarkable feat for any military leader. One of his most famous victories came at the Battle of Palkhed in 1728, where he outmaneuvered the mighty Nizam of Hyderabad. Bajirao's forces used speed and agility to encircle the Nizam's army, forcing a surrender without even engaging in direct combat. Bajirao wasn't just a general, he was a visionary who believed in expanding Maratha influence beyond the Deccan. Under his leadership, the Marathas crossed the Narmada River, challenging the Mughal authority in northern India. In 1737, Bajirao launched a daring campaign to Delhi itself, defeating the combined forces of the Mughals and their allies at the Battle of Bhopal. This bold march demonstrated that the Mughal Empire was no longer invincible. Under Bajirao, the Marathas not only expanded their territories but also solidified their position as the true successors to the crumbling Mughal authority. His legacy as a warrior and leader is unmatched, a testament to the Marathas' indomitable spirit. At its zenith, the Maratha Empire stretched from the Deccan Plateau to the Gangetic Plains, covering nearly a third of the subcontinent. The Marathas became the most powerful force in India, effectively ending Mughal supremacy. However, as the Marathas expanded, cracks began to appear in their administration. Internal rivalries among factions weakened their unity. Meanwhile, the British East India Company was steadily consolidating its power through diplomacy and warfare. The Marathas' defeat in the Third Anglo-Maratha War in 1818 marked the end of their empire and the beginning of British dominance in India. Though the Maratha Empire eventually fell, its legacy remains etched in the annals of history. The Marathas not only dismantled the Mughal Empire but also inspired future generations with their courage, vision, and commitment to Swarajya. Chhatrapati Shivaji's dream of self-rule continues to resonate, reminding us of the resilience and pride of the Maratha people. Despite its decline, the Maratha Empire left a lasting legacy. It was a symbol of resistance against tyranny, and its leaders were revered for their benevolence and dedication to their people. The Marathas championed the idea of Swarajya, a vision that inspired countless generations in India's struggle for independence. The Maratha Empire was not just an empire, It was a movement, a testament to what courage, unity, and an unwavering spirit can achieve. Thank you for watching Tales of History. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the past and learned something new about the events that shaped our world. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who love history as much as we do. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future episodes. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating stories of history with us. And remember, history isn't just the past, it's the key to understanding our present and shaping our future.